It's waking up. A volcanic region is getting hot after inactivity for many centuries. The Guardian London reported since January 21st, the Reykjanes Peninsula, southwest of Iceland's capital of Reykjavik, is experiencing more than 8,000 earthquakes. About 10 centimeters of land has risen up. It has a deformation. It's rising due to magma intrusions underground. It's inflating because of the magma. We know that Iceland, of course, has a mantle plume right under it. One of the many mantle plumes across the world. Another one is under Yellowstone. Another one is under Siberia, the Siberian traps of Russia. Another one in around the Hudson Bay area of Canada. Another one is in Scandinavia. Another one South Africa. Now, it seems that after being relatively inactive for many centuries, this region is waking up. This is according to Lancaster University volcanologist Dave McGarvey. He says the area is fed by 5 volcanic systems, which seem to come to life in a coordinated way through roughly every 1,000 years. The 2010 eruptions of Iceland's Eyjafjallajökull caused the largest air traffic shutdown since World War II, and that ash spread all throughout Europe. Meanwhile, Indonesia Krakatoa volcano is erupting over the weekend, sending ash almost 10 miles into the sky. Satellites picking up images of the 2 eruptions recorded by the Center for Volcanology and Geological Disaster Mitigation. The previous eruption of Krakatoa in 2018 triggered a tsunami, and the famous 1883 Krakatoa eruption also was a disastrous, a huge eruption with ash flow, ash cloud, and tsunami as well. Now, according to Volcano Discovery, more than 24 places around the world that have reported significant volcanic activity. Lately, the Klitschevskaya Sopka in the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia erupted with a volcanic ash plume 4 miles high, according to Volcanic Ash Advisory Center in Tokyo. The Shivuluk on the Kamchatka Peninsula, a smoke plume reached 7 miles. We know Kamchatka has over 100 volcanoes on it. There was also activity nearby at Aso and Sakurajima in Japan's Kyushu region. In Indonesia, along the Krakatoa, volcanic activity reported in Ibu, Merapi, and Semeru, and on the island of Sumatra, Caricini erupted. In Mexico, a volcanic ash plume rose an estimated 19,000 feet at Mount Popocatépetl, and across South America, Sangay and Reventador in Ecuador, Sambabancaya in Peru, Nevados de Chillán in Chile, and Santiaguito in Guatemala have been active. Now, in Italy, we have the Stromboli volcano. It's churning out mild and sometimes strong explosions at a rate of about 15 every hour, and it's accompanied by lava flow. Mount Erebus is one of the active volcanoes of Antarctica. It had active lava lake in its summit crater, and Erta Ale in Ethiopia recently created a new fissure vent with new lava flows. We know that that's close to the Great Rift Valley of Africa. Yellowstone caldera, the supervolcano, which is underneath the huge national park, has been reporting elevated seismicity in recent days. We know we have the Idaho quake swarm. We're going to look at that again today. Idaho is about 190 miles directly west of Yellowstone, and they have the same mantle plume. They say they share the same magma body. In Sumatra, the Kerinci volcano released ash into the skies. It triggered several advisories over the last few weeks. Now, according to the Volcano Discovery Reykjanes volcano, it's 755 feet. It's restless, 2 out of 5 current status. The volcano is located where the mid-Atlantic ridge merges into land, forming a vast area with many eruptive fissures, lava fields, hot springs, and mud pools. In the year 2000, a large earthquake lowered the water level in the lake by over 15 feet, but has gradually returned to normal since then. The Reykjanes volcanic system at the southwest tip of Reykjanes Peninsula, where the mid-Atlantic ridge rises above sea level, comprises a broad area of post-glacial basaltic crater rows and small shield volcanoes. The Reykjanes volcanic system is the westernmost of a series of 4 closely spaced fissure systems that extend diagonally across the Reykjanes Peninsula. Most of the volcanic system is covered by Holocene lavas, that is, recent lavas, and eruptions have occurred in historic time during the 13th century at several locations on the fissure system. Now, according to Iceland Met Office, IMO, they recorded earthquakes with magnitude 2.5. This is on March 25th, so that's pretty old. According to Volcano Discovery, the earthquake felt in Grandavik. Considerable seismic activity has been going in the area during the last weeks in connection with a deformation in the area. The deformation is measured at a slower rate than in January, but still continuing in magma accumulating at depth. And according now to the Krakatoa volcano, that is erupting 4 out of 5. A height of the caldera height is 2,667 feet. Krakatoa, the small island group in the Sunda Strait between the islands of Sumatra and Java, one of the world's most famous volcanoes. It's a mostly submerged caldera with 3 outer islands belonging to the rim and a new cone, the Krakatoa, which is inside the Krakatoa volcano, that has been forming since a new island since 1927 and remains highly active. Krakatoa exploded spectacularly in the devastating Plinian eruption of 1883, and most people that lost their lives that were due to the tsunami triggered by that eruption. The eruption was one of the first global events after telegraph lines had connected the different continents. The renowned volcano Krakatoa is in the Sunda Strait between Java and Sumatra. Collapse of the ancient Krakatoa edifice about 416 AD formed a 7-kilometer wide caldera. The remnants of its ancestral volcano are preserved in Veralatin and Lang Islands. Subsequently, Rakata, Danan, and Perbuatu volcanoes were formed, coalescing to create the pre-1883 Krakatoa Island. Caldera collapsed during the catastrophic 1883 eruption, destroyed Danan and Perbuatan volcanoes, and left only a remnant of Rakata volcano. And this eruption, the second largest in Indonesia during historic times, caused over 36,000 fatalities, most result of the devastating tsunamis that swept the adjacent coastlines of Sumatra and Java. And they also had the pyroclastic surges. They traveled 40 kilometers across the Sunda Strait, reaching the Sumatra coast. After a quiescence of less than half a century, the post-collapse cone of Anak Krakatoa, the child of Krakatoa, was constructed within the 1883 caldera at a point between the former cones of Danan and Perbuatan, and Anak Krakatoa has been the site of frequent eruptions since 1927, according to Volcano Discovery and W&D. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Krakatoa, and we also help the young generation with university tuition, and the community around our church. Thank you.